Some people think we're crazy when we tell them that we don't automate our Airbnb guest messaging.
You insane.
But really, it's not that complicated, and it comes down to 5 key messages.
And once you know how to template those 5, you'll be able to handle the bulk of guest messaging confidently and without much effort.
Today, we're going to break down exactly what we send, when we send it, and the little touches that you can add that make a difference to guests.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get started with message number 1, which is the inquiry reply.
The very first message a guest sends, whether it's an inquiry or a pre-booking question, is your chance to make a great first impression.
It's also a message that directly impacts your bottom line, because if you respond quickly and clearly, you're more likely to convert that inquiry into a confirmed booking.
Guests will often say things like, "Thanks for the quick reply," and sometimes that's all it takes to win that reservation because you're competing with other hosts, and if you have a faster response time, guests might choose you.
We don't fully automate our inquiry replies because we like to use this as an opportunity to vet our guests a little bit and also personalize the message a bit depending on what the guest is asking, but we do use templates and quick replies to make the process more efficient.
If a guest hasn't included any details about their trip yet, we use this as a chance to gently ask them what brings them to town.
One of the settings we have turned on Airbnb is requiring a pre-booking message. And in that, we're asking guests to tell us a little bit about what's bringing them to the area and who they're traveling with.
This serves as a natural screening for us, and it helps us personalize messaging later on. But sometimes the guests overlook or don't see that pre-booking message, so this is a good time to ask those questions if they haven't already answered them.
And if we feel like the guest is a good fit for the property, then we'll end the message with an invitation to book.
And that's it for message number 1. The best inquiry replies are short, warm, helpful, and just enough personality to stand out.
Message number 2 is the one we send right after a guest books, and that is the thanks for booking message.
If you have Instant Book turned on, then this might be your first interaction with a guest, and it's the time where you can make a great first impression with them.
We keep this message upbeat and friendly, but also to the point, because too long didn't read is a real thing.
Who'd ever known there was so many words?
Even though it's simple, this sets the tone for the rest of the stay, and we like to follow a consistent structure.
Our thanks for booking templates start with a quick greeting and a thank you, and then we can insert some sort of personal detail that they've shared with us, like we're happy to host you for your daughter's birthday or whatever that may be.
The next section of the message sets expectations. We let them know when we'll be sending check-in instructions, and if they've asked about an early check-in or late checkout, we let them know if that's a possibility.
After that, we include a link to our blog where we share things like our favorite local restaurants or things to do. It's our way of helping guests start to plan a fun trip, but also introduces them to the fact that we do take direct bookings and maybe they will book with us that way next time.
And finally, we close it out by letting them know that we're here in case they have any questions before their stay.
So even though this is a very short message, it helps guests feel welcome and informed and excited about their trip. And the whole process takes us less than 30 seconds.
We do have a few different variations of this thanks for booking message, and sometimes we'll add a couple personal details, or sometimes it's ready to go and we just hit send.
So we have our standard thanks for booking message. We have one for families that we can just click and go. And then we also have a few different variations for properties that we manage in different HOAs that have different requirements of information that we collect from each guest.
Message number 3 is the check-in day message, and this is one where when we've stayed at places, we see some hosts overload it with too much detail,
which actually puts you at more risk of guests just skipping over some of the important stuff. So we make sure to keep ours simple and to the point.
I'd say this is the message that a guest relies upon most, and we tend to send it around midday on the check-in day.
We include everything that they need for a smooth check-in, but without all of the extra fluff. So it's going to have the entry codes, a reminder of the check-in time, as well as a link to the check-in instructions if it's an Airbnb booking, or an attached PDF of step-by-step check-in instructions if it's Verbo or a direct booking.
If a guest has booked through Airbnb, Airbnb makes the check-in guide available to guests, I think 48 hours before the stay starts, but we like to include a direct link to it in case they miss that feature in the app.
Or we've learned that more people than I ever thought actually don't use the app and only rely on the desktop site.
That's old school.
But if you haven't set up the step-by-step check-in instructions that Airbnb offers, it's definitely something that you should implement.
One thing here is you can only set them up from the mobile app, not the desktop Airbnb site as a host. So from the app, you go to the listing tab, then select the property, tap arrival guide, then check-in method, and you can add instructions here.
You can check the description box down below for the web link that we use to create a link for our guests to send in the check-in instruction message. You'll just use that as a base and then add your property ID number in at the end.
If you're curious about more details about that or other Airbnb settings, we're going to be releasing an updated Airbnb settings video next week, so be sure to sign up for notifications, hit that like and subscribe button on this video so you won't miss it next week.
But back to the check-in message, we always wrap it up with a friendly encouragement to guests to please reach out if they have any questions or concerns during their stay.
And that's it. It's packed with enough information for a smooth check-in, but short enough where our guests will actually read it and retain the info.
Message number 4 is the midstay message, and it is exactly what the name suggests.
If a guest is staying for more than a couple nights and we haven't heard from them since check-in, we'll usually send a quick message to see how it's going.
We don't overthink this, and there's no set timeline for when this gets sent out. It's just a friendly, hey, just checking in to see how your stay is going so far. Let me know if you need anything.
The goal here is to get ahead of any issues before there's a review or the stay ends, and it just is a chance for you to show the guest that you care.
This is not something that we feel we need to do for every guest if it's just a 1 or 2 night stay, or if it's a little bit longer stay, but we've already had some good back and forth with them. We know they're happy at the house, but it's something that we don't like to skip for longer or midterm stays.
Message number 5 is the checkout message. We know many hosts that send a message right before checkout, but in our minds, this is something we'd rather do after a guest has already left.
Most guests are busy on that morning, packing up, corralling their kids, loading up the car, and the last thing that we want to do is overload them with a super long message and a list of things that they need to do.
It's a long list.
We do include a checkout process in our printed house manual, which are just a few basics like starting the dishwasher and locking up the house. We try and keep the checkout process minimal. And most guests follow that procedure just fine. If they don't look at our house manual, then they'll ask us and we'll clarify, but that's no problem.
What we do send is a short message after they've checked out. Something like, thanks again for staying with us, safe travels home, and we hope to host you again at one of our properties.
So no pressure about checkout reminders or walls of text, just a simple message that keeps the door open for future stays and thanks them for the opportunity to host them this time.
There is one exception to this, and that is if we feel like the guest is either going to flat out ignore or perhaps forget the checkout time, and we have a tight turnover coming that day.
You just get a kind of sense from some people, and sometimes we feel like we need to send that message. So we just keep it simple, say, hey, thanks for staying with us. A reminder that checkout time tomorrow is 10 a.m. And there are a few checkout basics listed in the printed house manual.
And again, these are messages that we've templated out in Airbnb or our property management software. So it's easy to just send them off with a few clicks.
So those are the 5 types of messages that we find ourselves sending regularly. We have them templated and ready to go, where we can add a personalized touch and they don't get sent out automatically when they're not needed.
Hopefully this breakdown helps you simplify your own guest messaging and helps you feel more confident in your guest communication.
Don't forget to check out the description box for other free resources and helpful short-term rental tips, and we'll put another video on the screen here you might want to check out next.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.